Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this soft and subtle To a Wild Rose card. So let me set this aside and we'll get started. Since this is a three-step stamp, I wanted to show you that you want to pay attention to how these three stamps line up. And the easiest way I have found is this petal here on the bottom. So I have taken a Sharpie and simply placed a dot onto my stamp so that I can easily line those up when I'm stamping. So I am going to start with the sentiment image here, and I like to do that because I want to make sure I have it where I want it to go. And I'm simply going to stamp that in our basic gray. And then I'm ready to bring in my outline image here and stamp it up. Now I am going to make sure that that point is somewhere on my card front so that I am able to line it up. And I can twist it also, being aware that that is my point. And finally, my final image down here in the left-hand corner. And then I'm done with my basic gray. I'm going to be using my Blushing Bride, and I'm going to complete the flowers before I move on to the leaves. And I'm going to once again look for that dot that I placed on my block and know that it lines up right there with that petal. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to ink it up again, and I'm going to twist that to line up with that petal. And that dot makes it real easy. And here's my point again, so I need to twist that stamp again, line it up, and stamp. And then I'm ready to move on to the solid image, and once again looking for that dot that I made right here on that point. And I want a softer pink, so I'm going to stamp off first before I stamp onto my card front. And I'm going to twist to line up that petal, stamp, and move again, twisting my block so that that point lines up, and stamp a third time. So there are my flowers, and now I'm ready to move on to the mossy meadow. Now I don't know if you end up with inky fingers every time that you stamp, but I have found by setting the ink pad on its side and pushing down, but leaving this edge open so that my fingers have a larger grip area works well for me. So if you end up with inky fingers, give that a try. And I'm going to stamp my flowers here. 1, 2, and 3. That's my outline image. And then I'm going to bring in the solid image without the stem, and I'm going to do the same thing. This is a two-step, so 1. And I wanted these darker, so I am not stamping off on them. But if you wanted a lighter image, you could stamp off first. 3. There we go. So I've got my stamping done, and I'm ready to move on to assembling my card. So I'm bringing in my Blushing Bride cardstock that I've scored, and I'm folding that in half. And then I am going to bring in my basic gray cardstock piece and add some adhesive to the back. And simply adhere that to the front. And then I'm ready to adhere the front panel here. And add that. Okay, and at this point I want to bring in my inside panel, which is just Whisper White, and I can add one of those flowers again just to make it pretty. And this time I'm just doing the basic gray, and I'm adding it down here in the corner. I'm not going to add any color to it. I just wanted a little pop of something on the inside, and so I'm going to add that panel. There you go. This card is that quick and easy. So let me show you the original again. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Ginny. And if you don't already have a local demonstrator and would like a catalog, email me your name, address, and phone number, and I'll be happy to send you one. Thanks for joining me.